This stopover takes us to Texas, where we tour a wild bird rescue facility, sample the cuisine at a fire department-inspired winery, we sample bourbon and vodka at a speakeasy, then we taste test a 75-year-old taco tradition, and visit the Guinness Book of World Records' littlest skyscraper. This is Wichita Falls, Texas. Welcome to What Doin'. We're Deb and Aaron, two retirees originally from Washington State who love to travel the country, make new friends, have new adventures, scuba dive, hike, cook, and just about anything outdoors. Come along for the ride. You never know what kind of crazy adventures we're going to get mixed up in. And you never know what doing. We landed in Wichita Falls to meet up with Jan and Steve, a couple we met last year at the Tiffin Service Center in Red Bay, Alabama. The Wichita Falls RV Park was the perfect campground and a place to stay for a few days. Kolohe loved her new Easter Bunny basket, and it proved to be the perfect spot to watch all the activity out the window. The yard art had us craving ice cream, and the pond was a great place to wet a line. We had an amazing opportunity to tour the Wild Bird Rehab Center, where we met up with Melissa and Morticia, the black vulture. Hi.
What do you think, Morgan?
You're a big bird, huh? Are you a good girl?
She's a very good girl. A little bit about Morticia. So Morticia came to us in 2016, thought to have been rejected by her mom in the nest. And she came in, was underweight, not doing well. They realized that she had a condition called crossbeak or scissor beak, which is, as it sounds, it's like if you have a pair of scissors for your beak, so it doesn't line up properly. So y'all can see it. I'll see if she'll mess with my hand at all. But if y'all look at her beak, you can see it's offset. We
Just
do
a
trim
little.
it. Yeah, it's gotten a lot better. We have done a ton of trimming. It's one of the things I've been really working on with her.
We couldn't personally go in with the birds, but Melissa was gracious enough to take the camera and give us a backstage tour.
This is the behind the scenes. This is our rehab, or not rehab, this is our ambassador hallway. I'm gonna have a little sneak peek of Tatanka. Hi. Hi, beautiful. What are you thinking? I don't know how to zoom in, but I would zoom in for him if I could. What do you think, Tatanka? Do you have anything you'd like to say? This is your shot. No comment? That's okay. Thank you. Yeah, this is a sneak peek of how their enclosures are set up. Lots of different perch options, platforms.
Tatanka, the red-tailed hawk, fell in love with me. Or maybe it was just my new red shoes.
She's like, I've got to show off real quick. You don't have anything to mantle right now. You don't have anything to cloak. Hi, boy.
We love to meet new people and find out their backstory and their history. Jeff Bryant, the executive director, just happens to be the drummer and co-founder of the band Ricochet from the early 90s. We also got to meet Mike, who works there. He runs a podcast, you should listen into it sometime, called Once Upon a Time in Texas.
So, last question, Melissa. If somebody wants to donate and send a little bit of money down to help with the birds, what's the best way to do that?
So the best way to help us financially is to find us on Facebook. You can also go to our website. You can donate to the website directly. We also have PayPal. And then if you want to send us a check or something in the mail, you can send it to 4611 Lakeshore Drive in Wichita Falls, Texas. And while we do always appreciate monetary donations, we would love for more people to come out here, to volunteer, to see our birds, to meet people, and to really keep spreading the word of what we do. We appreciate everybody that comes by, spreads the word about us, and just shares.
Cool.
So thank you.
We'll put links to the Facebook page and the website at the bottom of this. What a cool place. You guys are doing great things, and what a beautiful facility.
Morticia, really does a lot of the work. She is our big fundraiser. She puts a lot of effort
She's pretty cool.
She is very good.
If you come to downtown Wichita Falls, try out Wichita Falls Brewing Company. Good beers, good pizzas, good food, all good stuff.
We met Jan and Steve at the brewing company. It's sort of an industrial type interior and opened in 2018. They paired with local food trucks and they have Progress Pizza in-house. At Wichita Falls Brewing Company, they believe good people should drink good beers. We found both.
Also right in downtown, another great place you have to try is the Hook and Ladder Wine Company. They don't serve beer, but they have plenty of wines, and they serve charcuterie boards, which, as you know, is just the adult version of Lunchables with wine.
The Hook and Ladder occupies an original 1884 building that is a national landmark. It was an old fire station and is owned by 2 local firefighters. They roast the coffee beans in-house, and the wines come from local urban wineries. They serve flatbreads and a really good charcuterie board. This is a nice, relaxing place to enjoy your morning coffee or meet friends for an evening snack and a glass of wine. Our next stop was to the Guinness World Records holder for the world's littlest skyscraper, where we got to meet Jan. Not the other Jan, but a different Jan.
Welcome to Hello Again in the world's littlest skyscraper. And where are you from?
Originally Washington State.
Washington State.
Yes.
Very good. All right. So this building that you are in was here first.
Okay.
It was built in 1906 by a railroad man. His name was Augustus Newby. Mr. Newby had a private rail line that went on up into Oklahoma, and a great location. We were located right here beside the railroad tracks.
Yes, you were.
And that building directly across the street was the old freight depot. All things are good. But then there starts to be lots of oil activity in this area. So Newby decides to invite some oil men in here to share expenses. So perhaps you can envision desks in here. Men in Stetson hats, smoking cigars, boots on the desk, taking care of business. One of those guys that is taking care of business, his name is J.D. McMahon. He's the rest of the story. Mr. McMahon owned an oil drilling company. He had a bunch of guys that worked for him that built the big derrick rigs. They're construction workers by trade. A few years pass. Little town north of here called Burke Burnett. It was just a farmer's field. But next thing you know, we got us a gusher. I call it, in fact, the Jed Clampett moment happened. Texas tea is bubbling out of the ground. Millionaires are made overnight. Floods of people start coming. Well, what are we going to do with them all? One of the things among many things that is needed is office space, and that's where Mr. McMahon focuses his attention. And he talks to folks like you, perhaps from Washington State. And he says, look, I am going to build a high-rise building. We'll have it leased out before you know it. We're going to be raking in the dough. If you want in on this action, now's the time. So he raises $200,000 from these eager investors. That equals roughly about $4 million in today's money. What do they believe they've invested in? They believe that they are going to get a building that is 480 feet tall. That's about 35 stories. It would have been the tallest building in the state of Texas at that time. That is not what he built. What he did build is this, right this way. Thank you, investors. For your $4 million, you got this. Aren't you happy?
Wow. It's quaint.
It's cozy,
it's
huh?
Cozy, yes.
Yeah. But you might have a couple of questions for your builder, right? They did. So they came looking for him. He's vanished with the money. Imagine that.
Uh-oh.
Shocking.
Now what? Well, they're going to sue him in his absence in the hopes that they can find him. But they lose the lawsuit. Mr. McMahon had provided his investors with plans and documents. And those plans were in inches, not in feet.
480
Oh,
inches.
Inches.
the best. That is the
This
best.
is a yardstick, according to Mr. McMahon.
Perfect. So he did just exactly what he told
Just
him he was going to
exactly
do.
what he told. Yep, he delivered. Now, I like to point out, since we are 1/12 scale, 1/12 scale is also what they make doll houses. You know, the kind you would find like in a hobby shop or something like that. So, this is my mini-me. If you are a doll, this place is gigantic.
Perfect.
So are we the world's littlest skyscraper, or are we the world's biggest dollhouse?
It's all on your perspective.
It's your perspective.
I think for you and I think this is perfect. This is our house. I know, right? This is ours.
We fit.
It works.
Right.
You could make this an 8-story building instead of 4.
We could.
That's right. Yeah, you'd have trouble. You'd be.
Yeah.
So, people always ask me, how does that make you the world's littlest skyscraper? And I said, well, I don't know. But I know why we're known as it. These folks that had been duped in this real estate transaction, they were angry. They had been lied to, ripped off, that whole mess. And had it been going on now, it would be viral on some social media platform. So the Twitter of that day was a guy by the name of Robert Ripley from Ripley's Believe It or Not. He was alive and well. He had a syndicated column that ran in newspapers coast to coast. So he hears about this, he writes about this, and he declares this the world's littlest skyscraper. And now here you are.
That's perfect.
And you can go to the top.
Okay, well,
You, sir, are going to have to be careful.
Oh, I'm going to
Low
record
headroom?
that.
Yeah.
I'm going to record this excursion for him.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Every
Yeah.
once in a
Thank you so
while.
much.
I'm sure you've had to duck before.
Once
You'll
or
have to
twice.
duck again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We got to make our way to the top floor, and she was right. I had to duck. A lot.
Oh my gosh. And it moves.
Yeah.
We're like shifting, aren't we? Are we,
this is more than 4 stories.
are we safe? Do you like the fact that it's creaking? Oh my gosh.
It's a little creaking, it's a little creepy. You know, it's got that old building creep back there.
The top floor is sort of a mini museum that shows a bit of history about this little building, which measures 120 by 192 by 480 inches, or 10 by 16 by 40 feet. Pretty darn amazing. This is Casa Manana. They've been selling red tacos for 75 years. We're gonna go in and see what it's all about. Come on. So we're at Casa Manana, which is a local favorite. They're famous for their red tacos. Never had a red taco before, but we're gonna try them out. The one thing I can tell you is the chips are amazing. They're super thick. The queso that comes with when you sit down, and the hot sauces are very good. And then there's a special sauce that goes on the enchiladas and the red tacos. We're gonna try it all and we'll let you know. When you're seated at the table, you're presented with the traditional chips and salsa, but it's nothing like you're used to. The chips are super thick, and the homemade queso is a surprise. We had enchiladas, and they were smothered in chili con carne. It was pretty darn good. The place was empty except for a couple who sat right beside us. The red tacos were interesting. The shells were super thick and sort of dense and chewy. Definitely not what we expected, but it made for a good taco. Our next stop may have been one of my favorites. It was the River Bend Nature Center, where we met Kevin, who gave us a special look at some of the exhibits.
Giant vinegarone?
Yeah, these are found over in Lubbock and then further west. You really don't see them here because they like their drier, like deserty more areas.
So they're okay, they don't like bite or pinch.
If you put a finger right in there, they can give you a pretty good pinch, but they have no venom. They can't sting, and their main defense is just to spray things with vinegar.
With vinegar.
That vinegar they produce is an 85% concentrate of acetic acid, so it's a particularly heavy vinegar.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
If you get it like right in your eye, it can definitely cause problems, but it's usually just kind of fine, like. And then out in the wild, if you make them really upset, like a coyote's like trying to eat them or whatever, then yeah, they'll do like a full like spray, and it's an overpowering smell.
Yeah. Oh, aren't you just special?
There's only one species of vinegaroon native to North America, and it's this big old one right here.
Right in Texas.
Yeah, this is little Mo. Hey Mo.
Oh my gosh.
She's gonna be my field trip tarantula, so she's getting used to being handled.
Oh.
I used to have a big one named Eleanor, who was 23 before she passed away.
Oh my god. Hi, Mo. Wow.
Texas browns are pretty, I don't want to say boring, but a very basic looking tarantula. They're just brown. Apparently there are 3 species of Texas brown, or like 3 species of tarantula found here, with the Texas brown being one of them, but they're all identical, and to tell them apart you need to be like a specialist. Wow. And I'm not that specialized.
That's a bull snake.
Yeah,
oh
see,
my Lord,
kind of
have
a
mercy.
face on him.
Oh my goodness.
That's just how he looks. He's not actually mad. If he was, he'd be letting us know.
It just looks mad.
Apparently they
Does
got
he bite?
He's never bitten out of aggression.
Oh, just out of being scared.
If you ever see a wild one, they're usually pretty quick to bite because they act like rattlesnakes. They kind of look like one and they'll act like it. And they
Can I
have
touch his skin?
Yeah, if you want, you can pet him.
Pet him.
Get out of your way.
Oh.
Like, he's not gonna get you.
Oh, you say that. So I'm trusting you. Like, hi, I love you. It's okay. I just want to touch you with you.
You're like, I was napping.
Oh, wow.
You should feel little keels on his scales, little ridges, and get them kind of a bumpy feel.
Soft.
They'll really like to dig, and that's why those keels are there.
Okay. Let's just be mutually respectful. What a sweetheart.
Yeah, Taurus is a
so
captive
soft.
bred one, so he's been around people his whole life. He knows no one's gonna eat him.
Yeah.
He's gonna start acting real weird at the end of the month though, because that's when mating season hits, and that's the only time of the year that he starts being kind of funny. Usually he's pretty sleepy, and on like days where he's busy, I'll take him out and he's stretching here. It's usually
Oh, wow.
kind of crawl around this area.
How big is he?
He doesn't look it, but he's about 8'2".
Oh yeah, he goes all the way back there.
I think I can get him all the way out so he can stretch. He's been like curled up in here like all morning.
He's gotta, like, let me out.
I use him for presentations and like field trips and stuff. He's always been a really well behaved presentation snake.
Oh my goodness. It just kind of keeps on going.
That's all one snake.
Yep. No, the
Yes.
state record, it used to be a Wichita County bull snake that was officially measured at 8 feet 6.5, 8 feet 6.5 inches. But it got beat out by a Val Verde County bull snake that was measured at about 8'7". And last I checked, the national record is 8'8". But it wasn't in Texas, so I didn't really remember where that was found because I didn't care.
I have to say, I'm not a snake fan, but I don't know what it is about the bigger snakes. I'm actually not afraid of the bigger snakes, but the smaller snakes are the ones that creep me out.
Sounds like they're the ones that kind of fit into like cracks and crevices and just kind of surprise you. Because the big guys you can kind of hear coming because they usually make enough ruckus just kind of slithering around.
Kevin gave us a great tour, introduced us to a lot of the animals and insects, and knew just about everything there was to know about this place. When you're done inside the building, you can walk the grounds and explore the nature trail. You'll find tons of signs with information on Texas flora and fauna, and you might even catch a glimpse of some if you're lucky. Our last stop took us to Alley Cat Vintage Mercantile, where they have 50,000 square feet of antiques and 2 alley cats. You can always find something interesting here.
I found something I want to buy. Shh. You can hide it in the coach and scare the hell out of Deb. Oops.
Nice try.
Dang it.
I'll see your creepy doll and raise you another.
Antique shops can be so creepy. He's got a level on his head. Why is that?
With our time running short, we had to get back on the road and head towards Red Bay, Alabama for some service work. I want to give a big, huge shout out to Jan and Steve. Thank you so much for hosting, for the dinners, and all the laughs. Wichita Falls is someplace we'll definitely come back to. There's so much more to explore, but that's part of the joys about life on the road. There's always time to come back. Watch for us on the road, in a campground, in the kitchen. You never know where, and you never know what doing.